Good afternoon. Friday the 3rd? Friday the something of August. And welcome back indeed to everybody out there at the moment and those joining. So I was going to make this into a gameplay video. A short one, 10-minute one. And OBS has been my best friend as always this afternoon, causing me to lose hours of sleep. And it finally decided to update, and I thought, well, if it's updating, I'll just bloody do a live stream arbitrarily, so you get a live stream now. So anyway, here we are. Hopefully all the audio works, having just updated it. I'm doing a bit of gameplay on Viper Phase 1 on the arcade, and just to show you, that is the PCB. It came in a nice black box, and it's currently plugged into the supergun. Okay, hopefully you can all see that. I'm going to check the audio works. It certainly does. It's bloody loud. And tell me if that's too loud. I'm going to try and turn it down a bit, because that sounds immensely loud from where I am. It's quite good, because the audio has been a big problem with OBS for me. It's one of those things that just never works. No matter how positive and optimistic and focused I am, never works. So here we are. Hopefully you can hear me. If you can't, do shout and I'll adjust the volume levels. So this was released in about 95. I got the American version here. Oh, good evening, John Zoney. Nice to see you. No game audio. Interesting. Okay. Is that better? Because I turned it down. That should be better because it's showing up as a level. Interestingly, it's incredibly loud through my headphones, but I think that's a good thing because it will keep me awake. Not that I'm planning on falling asleep, but it will keep my reactions awake, having enormously loud game audio. Oh, dead already. Let me know how the audio is. I think it should be okay. So, John Zoney, are you familiar with Viper Phase 1? The incredible Seibu shoot 'em up. First one to be made on the SPI system. And having got this, which came with the motherboard, I am now on the hunt for reasonably priced copies of Raiden Fighters Jet and Raiden Fighters 2. Yeah, good. Oh, that was the wrong time to look at the chat, that was. Whilst not overly difficult bullet patterns, one thing you will know about this game, John Zoney, if you've ever played it, is the hitbox is larger than the national debt, and it is impossible to graze bullets. I've never had such loud audio in my ears on OBS before. No, there must be ways of changing that in this new version of OBS, but at the moment I'm just going to enjoy it being thoroughly loud. I'm wondering when they might introduce audio comments. You know, you could sort of just heckle. Be quite good. But, oh no! That was a panic bomb, that was. So yeah, how you doing, John Zoney? Not too much. It's 5 o'clock on a Friday afternoon, so time to relax, I guess. I've got a cup of tea on the go. Cup of tea number X times 10. Having spent most of the afternoon trying to configure this goddamn bloody system that I've got. And nothing about my streaming setup is user-friendly. My laptop is now hardwired into the other end of this room, which hardwired means basically using a lot of sellotape and plug sockets. So minimal wiring fuss at the other end of the room, which means that rewiring my laptop over in the gaming section is an absolute headache. I don't even want to look down there. It makes me feel ill. Anyway, so it looks a bit like Raiden. Yeah, just finished work. Yeah, it does. It's so this was released. I'm not sure whether it was released before or after DX. It does look a bit crisper than DX in my opinion. It does look a bit nicer. A lot of transparency effects. The old gaming lingo in there. And yeah, quite a lot of graphic effects. Music's okay, not too bad, and some sampled explosions. You know, sort of crunchy, isn't it? The sound effects. So it definitely has the look of a, you know, mid to late '90s arcade game. There's no chip tune on this. It's all sampled. Right, this is hard. This bit. I don't know why I'm complaining, because I can always cheat and continue, but it's a game that really tests the nerves. You know, with Raiden, the bullets are always fast, and you're like one hit death, obviously, but the hitbox is just such an issue on this game. Never looks like a problem. I was the closest I grazed, and that was death. But yeah, there's basically no room for error. And it does mean that you can't really be playing this with lag. So you have to be on your wits about you. There's 4 types of weapon on this: laser, napalm, wide shot, missile. I've got missile at the moment. And the thing I love about this game is each level gives you not only new enemies and bullet patterns and backgrounds and everything else you expect, but new types of explosion and other little features, like, you know, enemies kind of feel completely different on each level. Like, you know, you get that kind of bullet pattern that you wouldn't have got on level 1. You get kamikaze creature, whatever's ships on this. Get those kind of things which you didn't get on level 1. And sort of big, heavy hitting, Dodonpachi style hunks of metal. And yeah, you get a few layers of parallax on this level. It's not a game with vast levels of parallax, but it does work beautifully on where they use it. They use it to great effect. It looks a lot like Shenryu, you know, with the stuff going on in the background there. And you do have ships that kind of dock, and you know, they sort of, the background is slightly interactive, if you know what I mean. You know, like I really like that. And you know, to the contrary, I really dislike shooting games where the background is just a scrolling kind of, you know, video at worst. Absolutely no interaction with the background. So this one's great. It's got everything you need. You know, there's bits of scenery you can destroy. I'm pretty sure later levels there's probably bits of scenery that kill you, for instance. So I like that. It's good. So, apart from raving on about this particular game, whoops. Oh. Apart from raving on about this game and avoiding bullets, I wonder what else I could talk about. So I should think I will probably do another one of these videos, probably straight after this one actually. Well, I got the equipment plugged in because YouTube have asked me to make more content, or they will remove my partner status, and I know that partner status is quite hard to come by, and I certainly wouldn't get partner status if I started making videos when I started streaming. They've by and large been a load of shit. Like, I got partner status obviously years ago when everyone was looking to buy a scanline generator, and I don't think there's any content I would make now that would make me eligible for partner status, so I better hang on to it just so I can rinse you all for some revenue every so often, so you get an annoying advert at the beginning of a video for a Warhammer game or a Lexus or I don't know, like I don't know what they're trying to sell you, whether you've got personalised ads or not. I'm just going to fucking default to cheating. Oh no, really unsatisfying way to die there. Terribly unsatisfying that. But what it does show you, this boss, is that that's just wonderful, isn't it? All of that animation is great. I know Raiden DX has got some great animation as well. But I'm loving the SPI system and the kind of the age of it. You know, it's where they really tried to pack as much 2D processing in as possible, where they weren't really trying to show off any 3D animation. It was all about 2D really. So as a result, you have, you know, a lot of sprites and a lot of detail and, you know, backgrounds and stuff. How many PCBs do I have now? Sorry, question asked at 5 past 5. It's now 20 past 5. I think I've got 22. Don't forget the B&O years. Yeah, exactly. No, the B&O is still there. It's just the other side of the partition in my attic. It's not, no, that means it's not in use. But I got, what, 15 years of use of that thing, so I don't plan on selling it either. Unless, you know, they for some reason go for thousands of pounds, which enables me to buy even more PCBs. Hedge my bets with my Sony PBM. What have you got these days, John Zoni? Do you have a PBM? I forget. This is one of them things, isn't it? TP, good evening. Game has best music. Yeah, it's good, this one, for music. So I'm really interested in getting other games from the Raiden Fighters series, because I've only got a PAL Xbox 360, so I've only been able to play the trial version of Raiden Fighters Aces. I just thought that was one of the best game compilations on the system, actually. Really excellent. So not being able to play them without going down the mod route, I am really looking to pick up. I think Fighter's Jet is the one I want. I always found that to be sort of most exciting of the three in that particular series. It's made using exactly the same cartridge system as this one, the SPI system. But several years later, I think Raiden Fighter's Jet was 97 or 98. Oh gosh. And they'd obviously managed to program in about as much game as they possibly could from the available memory or whatever, so yeah. Still use your B&O. Oh god, I can't look at comments very often, to wait for a moment. Blown up once. You fixed it. Bloody hell. Nice. Get your screwdriver out. That's impressive. Good to keep those TVs going. Don't see many more CRTs down the tip, do you? If you've been to a council tip recently, but last time I went down, they were just sort of, you know, large flat screens there. The CRTs were of a very disappointing level of quality and size. No, none of your 29-inch, you know, Toshiba kind of high-end that you might have got 10 or so years ago when everyone wanted to get rid of them because they couldn't fit them in their living room anymore. Nope. They're all now being sold on eBay. So I don't know if you ever watched gameplay of this game, Viper Phase 1, but sort of a level that you always get to when you watch a video and think, oh, wonder if those little pod things kind of come onto the screen. Well, they do, because it's them. It's those things there, and they come in attack patterns. But it's nice to see them, you know, rising up in the background into that contraption in the middle. I think after this level, I'll play one more level. I haven't really rinsed this game too badly because I like to play things without using continues. Streaming is the opposite exception, where it would be the most boring stream on earth if you just decided to play without continuing, unless you were a bloody serious head freak at these games. But so I wasn't going to. Bloody hell! Oh well, we cleared it. Pickable wide. Also make Zark 212. Good evening. Such a good game. That's really the only reason I'm doing this stream, is because of the this particular game. It's so much effort doing a stream, I tell you. You don't want to hear all that moaning. I use TVs, plasmas, LCDs, projectors. Excellent. You've got a game room with a kind of multi-screen setup. You need quite a lot of space if you're using projectors, but I guess you can... it's amazing these days, projectors. You can get an image, 32-inch image from a tiny... Well, you get a very large image from a tiny projector. It just depends what kind of brightness you want, but projectors these days are fantastic. I was really impressed the last few I've seen. Got an old MAME running on a Dell. Freaking amazing, man. Yeah, great. So, oh bloody hell. It's certainly relying on PCBs is a very high risk way of enjoying these games, because it's got so much hardware to worry about, and transporting them and all that sort of stuff. You have to really look after them. But I'm certainly pretty wedded to my fully analog setup here, and it's not looking too bad on the LED either. In fact, it's looking great. I like it for a change, getting the really bright, sharp, pixely look. Not that the PVM is anything other than bright and sharp, but you know what I mean. Getting the digital look is quite nice every now and then. It's funny, this level, you do expect to see some moving asteroids that you can shoot, like every other game that's got like this asteroid belt type of scenery, but not on this one. Not a single shootable asteroid. I wonder why they decided to shun them, because most of the time shootable asteroids are pretty good fun, I think. When you switch between weapons on this game, it doesn't do your power any favours at all. I don't think it powers you down, but it certainly doesn't power you up. The only thing that powers you up are those. I haven't even mentioned about the medals yet on this particular game. Obviously not even looking at my score at the moment. The score is pathetic. Oh, that. Okay, so there, I do believe you can shoot those asteroids when they come in with the enemy, but boy, isn't that an entrance. That's worthy of like a Darius game, that one. And the background is just amazing, isn't it? Reminds me of that big side of a planet you get in Raystorm. Is it Ray Force? I think it's Ray Force. First one, layer section. Oh my god, that is just built to confuse you, that bullet pattern. No, can't shoot that one. There's comments coming in. I will look at them in a minute. I can see them out of the corner of my eye, which is currently... I mean, these bullet patterns are okay, aren't they? It's just that one gets me. It's over. Silky smooth. You have R-Type 1, 2, 3 on PCB. Beautiful games. R-Type Leo, I imagine. Banco. Hello, Banco. Sorry for the late recognition. I use scalars and scanline generators. So a bit of intense shooting action here, and good bit of variety on these levels. I do say that about this. They didn't go all out on level 1 to kind of blow you away with the variety. They've left a lot of good ideas for later levels, particularly the enemy attack patterns. I think one thing I really love in games is that kind of very much old school Gallagher style enemy that just comes down the screen shooting at you in a particular pattern. Great shrapnel effects on this game as well. It does remind me a lot of Raystorm / Rayforce. I think it's got about 8 levels, this one. If you watch a Super Play, it looks so easy. I mean, there's no arcade game like this that's easy. They just wouldn't bother making one that's easy. They wouldn't make any money off it. Okay, this is napalm. It's not my favourite weapon. It sort of clutters the screen up a little bit. So those don't kill you when they fly up the screen, thankfully. There's an awful lot going on here. Apologies, I'm not keeping up with the comments. A bit projector talk. Nice. Projector recommendations. They've done something to OBS because I updated it, and I think performance-wise it seems to be okay in terms of the metrics that I'm being told, running at a fairly stable 30 frames a second. Nothing mind-blowing. But yeah, the audio seems to have been given a makeover. Audio is such an issue on OBS. I could talk for hours about it. It would be much more fun than actually experiencing the audio issues, me talking about it. So I was going to do 2 streams, or 2 videos. This is so loud at the moment, I can barely hear myself think in these headphones. I was going to do two game streams. This one and another game which I bought recently. So what I'm going to do is just flip them over now and put you on a little okay. Right. I'm just going to speak through this old school style, right. So this is the second game I'm going to play, and it's Dragon Blaze by Psycho. So let's stick it on. Sounds promising. See if the game is, see if my cursor's on the screen. Okay, just need to reset this. Hopefully boot up the splitting. There we go. Audio is loud. Down a bit. Okay. That look about right. So loud through these headphones. Hopefully you can hear me. Good evening, Fagin and Jan. I knew Fagin would immediately start talking about rage quitting. He's a rage quit a rage quit connoisseur. I was going to say rage quit pervert. Maybe there's some perversion going on with rage quitting. It's always good when someone else is doing it, not necessarily when the subject is doing it. It's never fun rage quitting. It's a horrible experience. I'm going to see if I can turn this flipping audio through my headphones down. Anyway, whatever. It's not going to happen tonight. Right. Just picked on OneDrive. All these little things at the bottom of the screen that are so close to the thing you actually want to click on. Okay. I think we can handle that. Hopefully you can all hear me because I'm being deafened by the game. Okay. So. Oh, God. Right. Don't mind me if I shout. This is such a loud PCB, this one. So loud. I control cursor with one hand. Is he going to be able to do it? No, he's not. Okay, I'm just going to have to live with it. So I've been at the loudest gaming convention in the world. But I can't even hear myself talk at the moment, it's that loud. And my ears is going. Good job you can look me. No, wrong button. So that's your secondary weapon. Quite difficult to remember what I'm even supposed to do on this game, it's so loud at the moment. I don't know if everyone else has noticed that on OBS. It's outrageously loud. Right, I'm going to go on to audio settings. I can't handle this. Right, where's my audio settings? Elvis has been woken up. Okay, so I can turn... That. That's the only way around it. Hopefully you can still hear the headphones off. I'm listening to sound at some considerable distance from your ear. So yeah, they've done something with OBS, which is absolutely blown the audio level. Which is just about terrible. So what am I even doing? Playing Dragon Blades, that's right. So I bought this game several months ago, many months ago. I had this on the PlayStation 2, but it was PAL copy, and I'd only ever played it on my LCD TV, sort of sideways. So yeah, I've never really experienced this game, and then sold it for some reason, so I just got rid of all my PAL PS2 games. So yeah, I always kind of wanted to play this on the arcade hardware. The hitbox on this is thankfully a lot smaller than that front phase 1 game. I'll try and catch him. Chipping. Ultor, good evening. All of Dreamcast shooters. Hold on. Oh. Sometimes I play my Dreamcast. I love most of them really. Matrix especially, and Zero Gravity. Still detesting it so much, but certainly pulled it down like it was going. Quite a lot of other systems, weren't they? Ports that I hadn't bought slightly. GameCube or PS2. the ones by Milestone. Perhaps the lesser known games. I was a big fan of Chaos Field. Um, 480p games, which were great fun. Got 480p. Sure, you're keeping people entertained. Well, any money volume for headphones. I have actually got one here, but it's a shitty pair of pressing the volume button is certainly trouble most of us. Do about it. Yeah, cheers, Otto. Miss Gary. Got Polestar converted to AES. To AES? The old car. Brakes number 1 and 2. Yeah. It is totally brilliant, this game. So, there he is. Okay. Okay, right. That was horrible. Sorry. So you can't actually hear me when I'm playing because I'm using this microphone because my other microphone stopped working, or at least it wouldn't pick up anything more than, you know. Anyway, I bought an expensive microphone. It stopped working, and so I'm using that. The sound out of my stream is so loud that it's just unplayable. Anyway, I will probably call it a day there, but I will catch up with comments. Loads of new shooters on Dreamcast. Zoc212 from the net. Okay, yeah, look at those. Miss the days of spending 200 on a cart and going over to the UK and getting imports on the PC Engine. Yeah, going all over the UK. It's good actually, isn't it, visiting these retro stores? I'm not sure there's many of them around anymore, but my cursor's frozen. Almost there with the comments. It's a very workman-like review of comments before I start the stream. On the net somewhere is an interview with the guy who owned PC Engine Supplies. No way! I actually bought a PC Engine from PC Engine Supplies. Good evening, Stella Box said. Good evening, Daz. We've caught up with comments, so I'm absolutely out of gas now. Anyway, I did what I wanted to do, which is make a video so I can retain partner status, and it's been very nice catching up with those of you who joined the stream. So, have a good weekend, and yeah, take care, and see you all again soon. Stop streaming.